Good morning, good morning. It is Thursday, or no, it's Friday morning. It's Thursday evening when we're recording. It's Friday morning. Um, Watching the Celtics Sixers game right now.
Man, that's exciting.
Allergic, of course, I'm going to sneeze as soon as we start. Had no inclination of that happening whatsoever. And as soon as I started talking, I was like, it's about to come. Yeah, watching the Sixers, the Celtics play right now. We have half our team out, and we're still killing it. We're up 23 with 2 minutes to go, which is about the time when we let up a 15-point run to make it a game. So we're expecting us
It's
to
a
do
bit
that as usual.
dramatic, but it's fine.
We have a pretty good habit lately of being up 20 to 25 points and then letting up historic runs and letting people get back into games. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's the Sixers, and they don't literally like
True.
everybody's sitting out,
Yeah.
right? I don't
I
think.
mean, yeah, the Sixers have nobody, but yeah,
Yeah,
we have a bunch of people sitting out too. It's like it's just a rough game to watch. But I mean, like JT's out there balling, Peyton's out there balling. Derek White lost a tooth tonight, which is his second tooth lost in 2 seasons. He's had his head smashed into the court twice now and lost a tooth. During the finals, got landed on, hit his face into the court, lost a tooth, and then tonight caught an elbow from Kelly Oubre and lost a tooth like immediately, and is still out there playing. It's crazy.
okay, interesting. Just for the record, in case you're watching and you see me looking up, I am watching Michigan State versus Iowa men's basketball, um, just because it relates to Michigan and how they seed in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
So
it
go
matters.
Iowa. I have a question for you to start this evening.
Let's do it.
You can pick one game, one old video game that gets a remaster. What game are you picking?
So my instinct was to go with like Call of Duty, but I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And like even like the original Call of Duty, like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I think they did remaster at one
They
point.
did, yeah.
I don't like the idea of remastering. Like I don't like the idea of a new game, like a new entity. I want the original entity. Like go back and update servers or update whatever. Like I want the original game back. Like whatever everyone was talking about remastered coming out, that was cool. I would rather have signed into my original game and had my original stats, my original leaderboards, like my original kills and everything. So, with that being said, remaster, I don't love the idea of Call of Duty being remastered because I like where they were in the time that they were. So, like, if they remastered an original Call of Duty and put in newer movements and shit, like it wouldn't hit the same. I want.
Okay, so I don't mean to be rude and interrupt, but I think you're misinterpreting the term remaster. Remaster is literally just updating the graphics and the sound.
Right, but they make it a
Everything
new
else,
game.
right, but everything else is original to the game. The movements are all the same. The
Okay, so I didn't know
storylines
that.
are all the
I
same.
thought that they
It's
did some
literally
updates.
just improving.
I thought they did some updates
I
in
mean, to
there.
be fair, they can, but typically it's just more of a
It's just
graphics update than
visual.
anything.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Okay,
Which is
well,
why I
okay.
specifically chose remaster, because I'm with you. I hate when they remake games, and
Yeah,
it's
like
like, no, no,
remake.
no,
Yeah,
this isn't the
yeah,
original.
like that was a capsule of time from
Right.
2010. Like I want that to stay as is, and so if you want to revisit that, slap a price tag on it for us to access the servers again. Charge me money to play a skin, and I'm all for that. Make your
Yeah.
money, but don't give me a new game. So, but anyway, regardless of how it works, like yeah, so that's for me. Like they could have remastered it and just connected me to my old leaderboards, and I'd have been happy. But um, yeah, I think with that being said, though, I think the number one game that I would say would need a remaster that just like you give me same controls, same game system, everything, you're just gonna make it cleaner visuals and everything is definitely like a James Bond game. Like
James Bond.
Nightfall or
Okay.
Nightfire or whatever it was, or like 007. Like you give me like a GoldenEye with like clear instead of like that square Minecrafty looking walk and shit. Like or even like again, this one's kind of cheating because like Metal Gear Solid. I know they've made a bunch of games since, but
Yeah.
like the OG Metal Gear Solid, you give me
Okay.
that, but with like truly clean graphics where I can see the snowfall in that first mission and shit, and like his breath coming out instead of it being like a pixelated square roaming through a field. Yeah, so I think something like that, or even like an old SOCOM game like that, or like a Need for
SOCOM was
Speed
so
game.
good. SOCOM
Like the
was
Need
so
for
ahead of
like
its time.
it's so ahead of its time. It was so good. It really is like how Warzone is now, but on PSP 15 years ago. Like, yeah, they were way ahead
Yeah.
of their time. Like, they were so like realistic for the
Did you have
arcade.
the headset for SOCOM?
SOCOM?
Yeah.
No, you and I played on PSP, and that was all I
Okay.
had.
So SOCOM came out for the PS2. I want to say it came out on the PS2, maybe the end of PS1, but it came with its own headset that you could literally like talk the commands into the game instead
Oh,
of like
that's
having to use the
sick.
buttons
And
to
that
push
was
them
probably
in.
that was like right when headsets were starting. Like no one
Yes.
could play
Oh yeah.
online games yet. So
No, no,
what
no.
was the point of having a
Right.
headset? Like
Yeah.
you didn't have a headset unless you were on a computer, kind of thing. Like
Yeah. It was
yeah.
wild. I remember my uncle buying it for me, and I was like, oh, "This is
Wow.
incredible."
Yeah, I think another one just popped in my head too. That would be a Need for Speed because I think about the
Yeah.
old Need for Speeds we played and like how bad the
Uh,
graphics were. Like you give
for
me
the
an
record,
Underground 2.
For the record, that is my answer. Need for Speed Underground 2 is the only game I want remastered. Actually, that's
Can
a
I
lie.
tell
There's
you?
another one, but
Go
Need for
ahead.
Speed 2 is the top of my list.
Yeah, Underground would be so sick because it was so old at the time. Like they like it was so
Yeah.
again boxy and like the hit boxes weren't right and all that
Yeah.
shit. Um, I have something to say about Need for Speed 2 that you may or may not remember. But go ahead with your other game first. What's your other game?
My second pick is Road Rash. It was a motorcycle game where like you had to like beat
Oh
cops and
yes,
other
yes,
players
yes,
and like
yes.
collect shit
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
rode through it.
Dude, Simpsons Hit and Run. That would be a
Yes,
good remaster.
that's third on
Of
my
that.
list.
Like,
Yes.
like a clean fucking Simpsons Hit and Run
Yeah.
would be so sick. With like an open, even if like that would be one where I'd be okay if they remade it and made it like a GTA Red Dead like open world. Like a Simpsons open world would be so badass.
I mean, it
Like,
was more or less open world.
but I mean like a modern open world, like side quests and missions and like character
Okay, fair
development
enough.
and shit. Being able to do like the GTA, the
Yeah.
right stick swap of the characters and go from like Homer to Apu, like that would be so badass. To just
Okay,
like,
fair
like
enough.
I'm done with this storyline. I want to switch. Need for Speed Underground 2. I used to, if you remember this, we used to erase the drags, the 1v1 drags.
Yeah.
And do you remember what I used to do?
No.
So when we would finish them, there would be like a blip of time where it would pop up and tell both people's time before it would show you who won or perfect shifts and all that stuff. And I would always immediately just do the math between them. And every time now, even in my adult life, when I do like quick math, and anytime someone goes, "How'd you do that math that fast?" And like that takes me back to that where you just one day were like, I don't know why, but for some reason, like, doesn't matter if I win or lose. There's just something really annoying about you doing that math that fast. Like, you just were like, the moment it pops up on the screen, you go 14th, 100th of a second difference. Like, it would be like 12.09 to 12.23, and now it's just like 14 tenths of a second or whatever. And you were just like, I don't know why. That's just the most annoying thing in the world. And I was like, should I not do it? And you're like, no, like, it's cool that you could do it immediately, but like, for some reason, when I lose, it's way more annoying than when I'm winning. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. Like, because you lose, and I'm like, hey, you lost by 1/10 of a second. Cool. And I was like, that's fair. So every time I do quick math, I think back to that. But then I was like, do you know how many races we just sat in drag race one
my
after
God.
the for
Yeah.
hours on end? Like we play a game or two NHL and then be like, all right, let's drag race for fucking 2 hours, and that was it.
I'm curious if you have this memory because I still use this word today when I refer to things like this.
Idget.
No, there were shortcuts and there were haircuts.
Haircuts. If it takes longer, this shit's a haircut. And you
Yeah.
cut, dude. I could tell you if you put Need for Speed 2. What are they called? Not maps, right? Maps, I guess. Yeah, right.
Tracks more or less.
Tracks.
But yeah, it was open world. So
I can tell you which track it was if I could see it, because it had like a little like I don't want to say Chinese. What are those little the pointed square buildings? Fuck.
the Patagon. No, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
see,
about. There's one in Reading.
I was gonna say Mongolias, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's Mongolas or something. Mandolos. Not mandolin. Not mandingo.
A pagoda.
Pagoda. There we go.
Yes.
Yes. Pagoda buildings. There's one of those in the map that I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
where like you take this turn and then you have to make like multiple turns. Where if you just stay on the track, you just fucking drift around this turn and hit that shit full speed. And I always was like, why? Like, and the track like tries to get you to go down this like shortcut. And I remember saying that as a kid and thinking I was fucking hysterical. Where I was like, I came up with this, and it's actually funny because it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, this shit was a haircut. Like no one wants to sit through that shit. It takes too long. Yeah, that fuck. I do remember that. I haven't referred to anything as that in a very long time. But yeah, haircuts was the name for those fucking shortcuts.
Yes. Right.
All right, now I need to start adding Reddit momentum for certain games to get remastered. We need to start the
Oh,
momentum
buddy,
here
it's out
ourselves.
there. Trust me.
Yeah, we
When
gotta
you
get
see
that
them
going.
pop up, you're like, oh my god, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, I want to play all the games I talked about tonight.
Yeah, those will be the boys.
Yeah,
How
that's
would
yeah
how do you
true.
think they would react to the graphics that we grew up with?
I weirdly enough, like yeah, they've been playing like Spyro and all that shit. So like they have like no
Right, but they've
like
been playing the new one on the Xbox. They haven't been
yeah,
playing
I
the
guess
PlayStation
yeah.
2 version.
I mean, it's
Go
not
back and
very.
play it because it is not as good as you remember it being. I
No, yeah, no, because
promise.
they played. They do. We played the Call of Duty World at War Xbox 360 version. Like
Okay.
I bought it
Yeah.
digitally, and then you download it and you can play it that way. And like that's like you like run and jump and your dude like barely moves and does like the weird like space jump like you're on the moon. Like yeah, it's real goofy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, they've played some like that, but yeah, there's not a lot. That's why like I don't think I've ever played Minecraft because it just looks funny to me. So like, in my head, I'm like, I can't like I don't understand. Yeah, I should. I know I should, but I know you love your Minecraft, but yeah,
I
I can't. There's a visual thing for it.
I had a buddy in college that told me this. He when because I didn't really I played a little bit in high school, but like very little, very very little. But when I got to college, they were trying to convince me to play, and my buddy said it's the one game that I can consistently come back to every couple of months, and you just pick up where you left off, you continue building,
Yeah, yeah. And
start
so
a
for
whole
that,
new
you were
world,
like, all
like
right,
whatever you
now I'm
want.
in.
And
Low
so then
commitment is my kind of shit.
we spent an entire summer as a IT department, all the students. We just sat there and played pretty much all day. They paid us to play.
You're just
It
hanging
was
out.
incredible. But like we started our own server and we had our own world. Like it was so much fun. But anyways, he's 100% right. It's the only game that I've consistently ever since I started playing. This would have been in 2012. Consistently come back to every couple of months. I just get like the itch to play,
Yeah, you're like,
and
oh
I just
damn, I want to go see
yeah
what's going on in my little world or
yeah, I
whatever.
just go back and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot I did this, and like, oh my gosh, like this is so much fun, and yeah,
I have this bad thing with no matter what I'm doing or how far I've gotten, as soon as I go back to restart, I have the urge of like the OCD, ADHD, whatever you want to call it, of like I need to start over. I need to know where I'm at. I need to know what decisions I made. Like, what if
I
I was
definitely
thirty
get that.
percent of the way, 30% of the way through the game making like bad guy decisions, and then I go pick it up and I want to play good guy decisions. Like I should have just started over and made good guy decisions, but. Yeah, then I'll make good guy decisions for 30% and then
One of
pause and then come back and
one of my favorite things I ever saw on Reddit that was like, as an adult gamer, what do you want to see in video games? They said, I want to see like a notes section where I can leave myself notes for the game. And
yes,
then the
dude.
second one that I was like, oh my god, like if I ever were to develop a game, I won't because I'm old and I don't have time for that anymore. But if I were to ever develop a game, it is like the ability when you come back to a game to like redo the tutorial where you're at in the storyline.
Yes,
So like you can
yes,
remember
yes,
how to play the
yes,
game
yes.
and like all these little
Yeah,
things that you
just a
definitely
quick little
forgot.
side quest of
Yes.
like, a, hey, welcome back. Go through this little
Yeah.
tutorial.
We've
Like,
seen you haven't
yeah,
played in 3 months.
3 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That would
Like
be sick.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be helpful because yeah, like Red Dead, like the other day, Mac jumped on and was like, "How do I do this?" And I was like, "Fuck, I don't remember. I haven't played in fucking 6 months. I've been playing pub nonstop." So like, I held it. I was like, "Give me the controller," and he was like, "No, just tell me." I was like, "I need to hold the controller to figure it out." I was like, "Just give me the controller, because otherwise I'm just gonna tell you to hit every button on there. So just give me the fucking controller for a second." As soon as I held it, I was like, "Oh, it's just this, this, and this," and I held it back, and I was like, "All right, now I can tell you what it is. I just had to hold it for the muscle memory to kick in."
Yeah.
I was like, "I can't just think
Hundred
about it."
percent.
All right, well now I just want to play video games, so that was a solid opening question.
Well, the NFL has gone nuts since we last talked.
They wanted us. They felt
The
bad about us feeling like we weren't gonna have
franchise
anything to talk
tag
about.
came and went, and free agency starts a week from today.
It's happening fast.
So, with that, players are seeking trades. Players are being told they'll be cut. Players are told they're being traded come free agency, which also starts the league year. So, shit's happening.
It's all happening right now. We have DK out of Seattle requesting a trade. Hendrickson out of Cincinnati requesting a trade. So league leading sack getter, sack guy, sack
The
leader.
lead leaguer and
League
leader
leading sack
in
leader.
sacks.
Yeah,
Yes.
sack leader. Joey Bosa gets cut, which was a wild move, but makes sense, I guess, for salary cap reasons or whatever. So now he's on the wherever. Like, that's crazy.
Free
Just an
agent. He
unrestricted
gets to
free agent
sign.
can just do
Yep.
whatever the
A week
fuck he
from
wants to
today.
do. So yeah, so that's crazy that Bosa gets to chill, could possibly go play with his brother. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that Joey could end up doing.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk to the Texans. I saw this note that you wrote. It said Kirk to the Texans. And I was like, oh my god, what happened to C.J. Stroud? And I was like, did they sign Kirk Cousins? Did I miss something? And then I was like, oh no, I did read that earlier with Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that That feels like a Tank Dell might not be coming back. Like the broken leg shit might not
Yeah,
be going as good as they wanted. Because why would they go get another number three receiver? Like you
right.
have Stefan and you have Nico
Do
Collins.
they? I
So
think
like,
Stefan's a free agent. Isn't he a free
ooh,
agent
yeah, I
now?
guess he might be. He might be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
they didn't. They haven't re-signed him yet, so I'm
Where
pretty
did
sure
he
he's a free agent.
start at?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And then he
That's
went to
right.
the
And then
Bills.
Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah, Buffalo. I imagined it was Buffalo, but I forgot he was in Minnesota. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Um, but yeah, so yeah, the Texans. Yeah, them getting Kirk Cousins or God damn it, Kirk Cousins, Christian Kirk, just made me really like. Okay, that's unfortunate for Tank Dell. Like his knee is probably way fucked up. So like
Yeah.
that sucks. But speaking of on the good notes, though, people that got paid. Max Crosby out in Oakland. Tom Brady endorses that, I'm sure, in some way, and said pay the defense, keeps Max
Yeah.
Crosby there. Saquon gets his bread, becomes the highest paid running back in the league, rightfully so. Crazy to see
Right.
the Eagles spend that kind of money, though.
I was. Look. Uh, Full transparency and Howie I trust. It
Yeah.
is Howie season is here. The man is doing things that I still to this day I'm like, how is this possible?
That
But
was really like one of the first things I thought about when I saw that Saquon re-signed. I was like, okay, well, number one, thinking about the Giants video, Saquon's like the number one glue guy. He's the most popular player you have. So like, yeah, you want to keep him happy and like there should be no inkling of him being upset about a contract.
yeah,
Also, he's probably one of the most likely in a year to go, I don't need all this money, restructure this shit and sign another player. Like he feels like the most likely person in a year or two when they go, we have all this shit happening, we want to trade, there's this on the board, what do we do?
yeah,
He feels like the one right away that's going to be like restructure some shit. Like I don't know him personally, but like if I had to take a stab, like he doesn't strike me as someone that's like, nah, I'm here to get paid. Like he wants to win another Super Bowl, he wants to have that on his record, but maybe he did also just want the paycheck and now he's good. He got a ring and a check and he's sold. So like,
yeah,
but yeah, I feel like that was just such a smart move. Like pay him and then figure out the rest later.
yeah. So, uh, look, I full on sucking the dick of Howie Roseman. Like,
Roseman dick sucking.
yeah, put it in my bio. I just like the guy's a genius.
Getting shit done.
He continuously kicks the can down the road. And the rest of the NFL just looks at I see it on TikTok now and Reddit. Like the rest of the NFL just looks at us and they're like they get mad at their own team because of what the Eagles are doing.
Right, have
Or they're
done.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, they signed AJ, they signed Javante, they
yeah.
signed
And then we let it get
Jalen.
Saquon, and
Then we let
now I thought about it today where I
like
was like, watch them end up with Bosa because Garrett's just going to be harder to get. Like that's just a harder piece to get because you got to trade for it. Whereas now you can just write Bosa
yeah, you
the
gotta
check. So
right.
like
Yeah,
there's no loops. It's going to cost a little more
right.
probably,
That's the
but
thing though, is we don't have the money to pay them what they could earn. But we have the team to get them what they want.
right, yeah. If
So
Bosa just wants to
like
come snag a ring real quick,
yeah,
like
you
yeah,
got
like
it.
hey man, come out here and get a couple of sacks this year, help
Yeah.
out, like. Because yeah, it could pretty much be, hey, do you want to come play on this defense? We'll pay you what we can, and we'll promise you the sack record. Or do you want to come play on here, fuck around for the season, hang out in Philly and bars, and get a Super Bowl ring at the end of
Right.
the year? Like, what do you want
Yeah.
to do? Like, what's the vibes? Like, and he might not. He might be like, no, fuck that. I'm going to the Jets so I can get paid. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Look,
cool.
I don't
Let your
blame
career
them one
die.
bit.
But yeah, but no, yeah, they're in
But
a
yeah,
good spot.
it's
Yeah, so
sticking with
jealous,
the
jealous of that.
Eagles. Sticking with the Eagles though, they also signed Zach Bond to an extension. Well, I guess they signed him. It's not an extension because his contract expired. So yeah, they re-signed him, give him a couple years, lots of money. Um, just it's incredible, dude. I
Yeah,
know, I know
he's
we're
got
gonna
to be a
lose
corner
Josh
piece
Sweat
on
and Milton
defense.
Williams. That's fine.
Yeah,
Slay
Slay's
was
gone.
cut, and he said he'd come back if the money's right. I don't think the money will be right. I think
Yeah,
honestly, I think he ends up back in Detroit.
yeah.
Um, so they have a little bit more money than us, and he got his ring now. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get my
Yeah,
money."
let me
Like,
try to go bring one to Detroit.
yeah,
Come on, yeah, do the LeBron to Detroit instead of Cleveland.
yeah. So, but the Bears coming in.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, it feels like they're in a good spot now. Like getting Ben Johnson as a coach, and then I just have seen like it was just like two random trades that popped up like within a few days of each other. So the Chiefs, we knew that Joe Thuney was going to be on the way out, and like that was a possibility because they couldn't afford to keep him.
Yeah,
They kept
he
moving
didn't
him
play
from
that
guard.
well either way.
Yeah, and well, they moved him from tackle to guard or vice versa, and
Yeah,
so like
guard
that
to
was part
tackle.
of the reason. Yes, like that was part of the reason he wasn't playing that well. So I think he was looking for a way to not be blamed anymore for the offensive line issues because like I saw that on Twitter. Like the common response was like, "Oh, you think the Bears are gonna be good with this? Like, wasn't Patrick Mahomes just scrambling for his life the whole fucking quarter?" And it was like, yeah, he was playing out of position against the best defense in the league, though. Like
Right.
anyone was scrambling for their fucking life that day. Like it didn't matter who you were. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like anyone was scrambling for their life. So then now you're talking about putting a guy that is good at his position in a wrong position. Like that's got to matter a lot. And as a kid too, I remember being like signing into Madden in 2003 and creating like a fantasy team. It was like give me the five best offensive line. I don't give a fuck. Like, give me the five best big guys that can push. I'll put Lane Johnson at center. I don't give a shit, dude. Like, at the time, it obviously wasn't. I can't even remember offensive linemen from the early. Fucking give me Jeff Saturday at left tackle. I don't care. Like, he doesn't need to snap the ball. I don't care.
Yeah.
It was Maurice Pouncey, whoever I had that could fill the line, I would fill. But now, like, as an adult, it's like, that makes so much more sense. Like, they are completely different jobs. Like, their entire job is so much different. Like, they're in the same department, but they have completely different divisions. Like, their mentality, their purpose, their everything is so different. And so, like, even when you're like, oh, well, the tackles are the same. And it's like, not really, because everything is even like aligned differently then. Like that guy's all right brain aligned and play action and right runs and inside zones, and the other guy is shotgun and the blind side. Like
not to mention like how different it is team to team, because if your quarterback's left-handed versus right-handed, that changes what's position is your back.
That's a good point.
I
wasn't even thinking you were saying that when you were saying team to team makes a difference. You could be playing a team where the left end is more of a blitzer versus a pass coverage guy. So, like, 1 week you're fighting your life for fucking Bosa pushing you, and the next week you have some nobody that's not going to get by you that drops back in coverage more. Like, playing lineman is super underrated for how fucking hard that's got to be. But then to, just, like, casually be like, hey, we have a guard down, you're moving over a spot. Like, that's like telling Joe Burrow you're just going to go play wide receiver this week because you're down somebody. Like, that's fucking crazy. So... But yeah, so anyway, so it felt weird though that the Bears just like popped up with these two random trades and got better at the line, and like that was what they really needed. And so yeah, Bears potentially sneaky good or just still dog shit. Time will tell, but
we will.
But yeah. Other than that, I don't think I had anything else football related. Which is
there's a bunch of little things, but like free agency kicking off next week, it'll really start popping. We'll see where these guys are gonna land. I'm excited to see what happens with these quarterbacks.
There's the Darnold, the Rodgers.
There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. Fields. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are out there. It's always. I feel like
there's a lot of backups, like the Kenny Pickett's of the world, the Justin Fields, the Mitch Trubisky's. Like those guys all could end up with a starting role. Like there's just a lot of shit that could happen here in the next couple weeks. The draft still has to happen. So Shadur, Cam Ward, like you got a lot of people coming out. So. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. So yeah, I love me some football news.
So tell me, did LeBron reach 50,000?
LeBron did reach 50,000. It was almost inevitable when he ended the night with 17 points and 49,999 career points, which is just silly to even think about. But yeah, somehow he had 17 that night and ended with 49,999. Very next game, of course, gets the point, gets 50K, first one to do it. Which led me to a Reddit thread that today was like, what is more impressive, 50,000 points or a championship? And like immediately I was like, well, obviously the championship. But then like when you really think about it, it's like, yeah, but how many people have won a championship? How many people have scored 50,000 points? And that, as soon as I clicked on the replies, became the number one reply. And it was like, if you say anything about the championship, like you're just biased on hating LeBron. Like, hundreds of, if not thousands of people now have won a title. It's 15 persons a team times however many times, 75 years or whatever. Like you're looking at probably 1,000 of people. Like it's enough to that there's only one that's done it, and now it's by like a significant margin as well. So it's like
they are more challenging for their separate reasons.
Right, yes.
But I think if you're going to compare them, it's got to be 50,000 because just the longevity it takes to score that many buckets.
That word is what keeps coming up. Anytime someone talks about anybody else, I'm like, yeah, that was cool when they did that sweet, awesome run for 6 or 7 years. LeBron's been doing it for 22 and a half years. Like, I just sent this to John earlier, actually, speaking of longevity. It's a picture of LeBron and JJ dapping up. JJ Redick in college. LeBron was averaging 27, 7, and 7. JJ Redick as an NBA rookie. LeBron was averaging 27, 7, and 6. NBA as a JJ Redick as an NBA starter was LeBron at 27, 7, and 6. JJ Redick as a 15-year vet in the NBA, LeBron was 25, 8, and 8. JJ Redick as an analyst and podcaster, LeBron was at 26, 8, and 7. And JJ Redick as LeBron's coach, LeBron's at 25, 9, and 8. So from JJ Redick to college through his entire career, LeBron's been 25 plus, 7 plus, 6 plus.
Like 20 years.
20 years.
Redick.
That's it's legit 20 years. Like, yeah, and like, so it's just, the longevity, that word comes up every time where it's just like that, it can't be argued anymore. Like, it's just like, it's kind of dead. Like,
and it's
everyone has their greatness for their era and their time period, and they changed the game in their own way, and they did all this cool stuff, but like, he is just tier one. Like, that is just, it's the golden standard of
it's
like,
also,
what's to be expected.
It's also crazy because it's not just the longevity in terms of time, but also the longevity of your body.
Yeah,
like, to keep your body in that good of condition.
Because like Vince Carter
and
played
not
for 20
injured,
years, but like his 20th year, he looked like a grandfather out there with gray hair walking around. Andre Iguodala looked old as fuck out there running around.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else, like Mike, looked old as fuck on the Wizards with a belly out there running around gambling and shit. Like, there was just like LeBron is out here running full speed, throwing down tomahawks, like, not playing defense like he used to, but still playing defense. Like, it's fucking wild. Yeah, bronze sexuals all the way. But yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, even right now, game just tipped off. Lakers, Knicks, and LeBron's just full speed back and forth on the top end of the court, first two plays. Just no problem. 40 years old, just fucking hustling, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so LeBron reached 50. 50 is an insane stat. It's wild. I love that my kids know who that is. I was like one of the first basketball players. I made sure that they knew who it is. They can identify Kobe, Mike, and LeBron. Like, they can look at any of those three.
Are you gonna take them to go see him play?
Yeah, that's 100%. Because I know that he might, like, there's a rumor of like him only having a year or two left. So I really want to go to, if the Lakers have anything else East Coast this year, I would like to try to sneak in a game like Sixers or whatever.
Yeah.
Because MSU is a bitch of a drive, but I would do it. But if not, next year for certain, 100%. Like, that's book it now. I will be at Lakers Sixers next year. 100%.
Which JJ talked about.
I know I might not have a whole lot left. So
yeah.
Speaking of LeBron, just fucking from the 3-point line, collects dribble around 3 or 4 players straight to the hoop. It looks like you're playing 2K on like the rookie mode, and you have the best player on the court at all times. Like, it's always like, oh cool, look at that guy playing with his little brother and his friends. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, definitely want to take the boys to see them play, because yeah, again, like, that's one where I just want them to grow up and be like, yeah, I saw him play when I was a kid. Like, thank God my dad at least took me the one time. Like, I got a picture in the stadium LeBron was in. Like, but yeah, so other NBA news though, Cavs are super hot. Celtics were up like 30 points on them the other night, and then we gave it away and they won. So they're cooking right now. They're the first team to clinch a playoff spot already. So mathematically they're in. And that the logic in that term has changed, because it used to be once mathematically you were solidified at 8, you were in the playoffs. But now if you're 7 or 8, you could end up losing the play-in, so you're not like technically guaranteed a playoff spot. So now the wording that they've been using is, oh, they've clinched a top 6 playoff spot, because like you could lose every game from here on out, you'll still be 6, you're gonna make the playoffs. So it's a little bit different. It's one of those things where like they've made their changes and we're grateful for them, but like you can now the wording and the like records and things like that kind of get a little wonky. But yeah, so the Cavs are the first team to clinch a top 6 playoff spot, so no matter what, they could lose out. They're in the playoffs.
Okay.
Celtics, like I said, can't hold a lead. Every time we get a big lead, we fucking fumble it away. We beat the Sixers tonight, thankfully, but every time we're up 20, we seem to just piss it away, so we need to figure that out. Talked about it earlier, but Derek White lost his second tooth in 2 seasons, which is just a crazy fucking stat, and he needs to stop doing that.
Yeah, like,
Knicks,
dog, you know you don't play hockey, right?
Literally, yeah, dude. Like, keep your teeth clean. Like, he's the one that's like balding, and people always clown it. Oh, Luka behind the back. He always clearly clown his hairline and shit. So that's even worse to have missing teeth now too. He looks like a hockey player, honestly. Right now, like I said, Knicks and Lakers are playing in LA. Kendrick Perkins was talking about how the Lakers are saving the NBA, and then Chuck on TNT was talking about how Perk doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and he can't wait till he has to go there and work for ESPN for those idiots, basically. So like Chuck talking shit on the network he's about to work for, it's so crazy. It's just so goofy how much of like a reality show this shit has turned into.
Yeah.
Lakers and Celtics play Saturday night, which is always a fun game. Unfortunately, they play at 8:30 on Saturday, and that's the UFC fight. Alex Pereira's fighting, so like that'll definitely get sidelined. But they will be done playing by the time he fights for sure, because it won't be till like 1 or 2 a.m. But Saturday night is going to be a huge fight. I'm so fucking excited. LeBron step back. Oh my god. Rui Hachimura put back.
Oh, I'm a bit ahead of you.
Are you watching this?
Yeah, I just put it on.
Okay. Gotcha. And then last thing we have is if you have it, just Google, just literally go to Google and type in Mavs coma TikTok, and you'll see a very funny reel of a guy pretending to wake up from a coma from the Mavs, talking about how Luka's been traded, Quentin Grimes has been traded and set career highs, Jackson Hayes or Christian Woods got traded, um, Anthony Davis arrives and get hurt, Kyrie's hurt, ticket prices went up 8%. The Mavs have just literally struck out at every possible turn
It
since
just
like a
keeps
month
getting
ago.
worse for them.
It just legitimately keeps getting worse. Like every time you turn around, like, and it's just like, oh well, like at least those players we traded away aren't doing anything, and then they start and have a career night for the Sixers, and it's like, yeah, no matter what, the Mavs have just done everything wrong for the last like 30 to 40 days. Like they have not done anything right. It feels like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, highly recommend. Just quick Google Cavs or Mavs coma TikTok, and you'll see it. It's funny as hell. But yeah, so that is all I got then for basketball. I know MLB has kicked off, but we've talked about that a couple times. We're not really locked in just yet. It's just people out there stretching and heading to Florida to pretend to start playing.
Yeah, they.
Which actually, it's I watched back to back TikTok or back to back videos today on Twitter. His first one was um, Spring Break 25 is officially under session, and it was two blonde chicks in bikinis beating the shit out of each other, and people around just cheering and screaming. And then the very next video was like baseball players like warming up and shit. And I was like, damn, I wish I was in Florida right now. Like, it's nice. People are golfing. The Arnold Palmer Invitational is happening. Baseball players are showing up, and chicks in bikinis are fighting at the beach. Now I was like, why are we in Pennsylvania in freezing cold weather still?
It's great up here, actually.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. In the NHL, Ovechkin did score another goal, so he is now 9 goals away. I did not look up how many games he has left.
Uh-oh.
I think it's 21. It's either 20 or 21. Um, so
20 games left.
Yeah, 20 games, 9 goals. So I mean, just under half a goal a game. It seems likely he will catch and die, but still a lot of hockey left, so we'll see. Really rooting for him. Every time I see the Caps score or the Caps score come up, I check to see if he scored. So go Ovi.
I need to reset my I need to update my ESPN notifications to tell me about Ovechkin specifically. I'm going to mark him as one of my favorite players, so if they just tell me his shit for the next couple of weeks, then I'll take him off.
There you go. For the men's basketball, I was watching. I mentioned earlier I was watching Michigan State at Iowa, and Michigan State ended up running away with that game. But they've pretty much clinched up the 1 seed in the Big Ten, I think, with that win. And Michigan can go somewhere between the 2 and 4 seed. So I'm excited for them. Not super excited for anything Carolina.
I was just about to say.
I don't know what they're doing in the ACC
I
championship
think they have a
game,
chance
but
to play.
they'll start this weekend.
We're at 42% chance to make the tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not looking likely.
Yeah. It's we'll see. Got to get through the conference championships, so that'll start. I believe some of them start this weekend. Some of the smaller conferences, but the bigger ones will be next week.
Did you see? Okay, two things then while we're talking about college basketball. So again, this is another one for listeners. We're not cool enough to have like graphics and shit showed up yet, but if you can just Google the Circle of Suck for this year, pretty much every team has beaten a team that's beaten a team that's beat the team that beat that team. No matter what,
yeah,
every team has beaten a team that then beat a team who beat the other team that comes around to beat the team that beat the team. Like I looked at that graphic and I was like, no fucking way. And I looked at it and I was like, podcast mentioned or not, AJ will appreciate the fuck out of this. That was the guy, I just know he will, because it's just so clean and clean and organized, and someone spent so much time to figure that out. Like holy shit. We have the Circle of Suck for the 24-25 Division I men's basketball season is complete. So definitely look that up. That's a solid one. And then what was the other one that I was just going to say? Oh, you said about the bracket starting. The Sun Belt Conference Championship. Did you see that one?
No.
So the Sun Belt, I believe, is what it is. Sun Belt Conference Tournament bracket. It is like... Yeah, look it up. It's like 20 columns deep. because they have like such a unique team setup or whatever that like if you're in 12th place, you legitimately have to win like 9 games to get to first. But if you're in first, you got to win like two.
Wow.
It is the craziest fuck. It's for one conference, and it's like a
South
nobody bum
Alabama and
conference.
James Madison get a 5 round bye.
Yes, like that's what I'm saying. JMU and South Alabama get a fucking 5 round bye, and then they have to just win 2 games, and then they're in the championship game. Like
That's funny because I thought the Big Ten was bad just for having a double bye, but
this
like
is crazy.
this is
This is
wild.
crazy. I do. There is. I think you've never watched Parks and Rec, but there's a Aziz Ansari. It has a scene in that show where he falls in love. Like he gets like hypnotized by like abstract art, and he buys art from this guy, and he's sitting in the office, and like the camera pans to him, and he's like, "This is beautiful. I've looked at this for 5 hours now. I've used it a handful of times in memes for myself, like March Madness and things like that, where I'm just
Yeah,
like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I've stared at this for 5 fucking hours now. That was like the most common meme for this when this came out. Everyone was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever fucking seen. I'm so excited for this to start. Like, holy shit. Oh, it already started.
yeah, it
Tuesday,
already
March
started. Yeah,
4th.
yeah. So like it already started. So this doesn't quite apply because it's already over. But imagine you're Southern Miss or Coastal Carolina. And so these games are literally the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th.
Just night after night.
Yeah, so imagine having to play 5 or 6 basketball games in a row. And like in your 5th game, you get to a team that hasn't played at all in the past 5 days.
Dude, even
You
the
are dog
championship,
ass
though,
tired coming out.
it is literally every day with no breaks. Four,
Yes,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10, yeah. Every day there's a game.
Holy
So like yeah.
shit.
So like imagine you're Southern Miss and you're like going on a run. Now they did lose.
Yeah,
They
you
lost
gotta play
already.
6 games in 6 days.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
where
would be
ULM or Louisiana are the same way, but all 4 of them have lost already. So, but yeah, that's wild. I have never seen
yeah,
anything
I
like
yeah, I
that.
knew as soon as you said about the brackets starting, and I was like, well, I know their brackets probably started soon because they got to get all these fucking games over with, and that makes sense.
You
So,
don't say.
yeah, that is crazy how they decided to do that this year. I'm all for it though. I need to catch up. I didn't realize that this shit was active. I need to pay attention.
Yeah, even if you wanted to, it wouldn't be on
Yeah,
TV.
true. Yeah, that's a good point too. I probably can't even find those games.
You might get the championship game if you're lucky.
Facts. All right, UFC stuff. So excited! I've been talking about this one for weeks. As soon as this one was announced, Alex Pereira, Potamatan, whatever the hell they call him, and Ankalaev fight Saturday night, and I'm just super pumped for it. There's already been rumors that if Pereira wins, the chances of him fighting John Jones are just like undeniable. That like they have to fight each other at that point. Like it just makes the most sense. So
Yeah,
hoping for a Pereira win regardless, just because, like I said, he's the one that does that stare down shit. And, like no matter what, like this is one like this is Pereira. What John Jones was really like my highest recommendation for you last year, but like so far this year, this is definitely the biggest fight card that's even been rumored or that's been like legitimately put together. So yeah, Saturday night will be a legit fight going on. So super excited for that. My ass will be on the couch watching that one Saturday night.
that's exciting.
Oh, give me some NASCAR news.
So, as a girl dad, I will really always appreciate this stuff, so I put it first. Catherine Legg makes her NASCAR Cup debut this weekend in Phoenix. She is the first female to run in the Cup Series since Danica Patrick in 2018. So, like, love that. I
Was there ever one before Danica?
Go Fast. Yeah, there was. I want to say it's Go Fast Racing? Question mark. Yeah, there's been a few women to come in and out of the sport for a race or two over the years, but
Interesting.
Danica was the first one who ran like with an actual chance of kind of winning the championship. The other ones were just like, here's a race or two, kind of like Catherine is in this.
Yeah. They
So
call it hot seats. No, that's considered. I just learned that from NASCAR Heat 4.
that was made up for the game.
Yeah, okay. I got caught up for a hot seat in the truck series.
Yeah, that was made up for a game. No,
I've been
these are
killing
just,
it
like,
on the dirt
one-off
track,
drives. Yeah,
and then
this
I got
last
pulled
one.
up for the I get pulled up for the truck series, and I was trying to like whip the turns, and I was like, all right, guys, give me a lap or two to figure this shit out, because I just got the fucking drifting down, and now all of a sudden we're driving correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little rough at first.
So I'm excited to see her run. We'll see what happens. Just something to keep an eye on. The next one is just absolutely wild. So NASCAR did countersue Michael Jordan and company being 23XI Racing, and the other company, Front Row Motorsports. Um, so they basically, in layman's terms, they're basically suing, countersuing, saying like they're willfully like orchestrating anti-competitive collective conduct with their connections
Other racers
to the
and
other
say,
teams.
yeah,
Yeah. And so like a lot of it is a lot of the legal community, as much as you're going to get legal community in NASCAR, basically came out and say like it's NASCAR's way of prolonging this, bleeding out the competition in hopes that you're going to spend enough money where you're like, all right, we'll just settle out of court, and they don't
right,
have to open up their books.
yeah.
So
I just don't
we've,
know if Jordan's the one to
I
do
was
that
gonna say,
too.
we've talked about this millions of times.
You done
Um,
pissed off the fucking honeypot. Like
yeah,
that's yeah. LeBron might have taken the goat status, but Jordan still reached that billionaire status long before he did, and he's still out here fucking around with his money. So
yeah. What's really interesting though is in their countersuit, they they mention an article that is written by AI.
which probably does not look good.
No, it does not look good at all. It's just like when it was pointed out on Reddit, it was they just got torn to shreds on Reddit when they
Right,
finally saw it.
yeah. Like
Um,
imagine being the fucking boomer that shares one of those Facebook statuses that's like Zuckerberg's checking at 1 a.m. Everyone copy and paste this as your status and say I no longer want to be in the feed or whatever, dude. Every time I see someone follow those, I'm like, that person's gonna lose their credit card info sometime this year, 100%. That person is sending money to Nigeria, 100% sometime this year.
yeah,
Like it's gonna fucking happen. They're going to respond to that Easy Pass toll booth ticket, even though they haven't been on the Easy Pass in 30 years, and they're going to pay with their credit card. They're going to sign in. Yeah, it's the same shit. The person that saw that in that lawyer group had to be old as fuck and said, look, here's an article. They ran with it, and then at some point they said, dude, you didn't fucking fact check that. He said, who's AI? I don't know what that means.
yeah. It was
That's
it was really interesting though when it was brought up on Reddit. I'm really trying to find the name of the website because I read it yesterday.
okay.
Um,
That's pretty much. Other than that, that is all the NASCAR news we have. So while you're looking for that, real quick, I will just mention TGL, the golf league, has. I believe they wrapped up play, if I read that correctly, unless I didn't, which is very possible. The playoffs are scheduled though, so that's why I'm thinking that they wrapped up play.
I think the last one was tonight, if I remember.
That's
Correctly.
I thought. I thought it was over now. So yeah, so the playoff schedule is set. Yeah, it is. Yeah, schedule set. So yeah, they're off for like 2 weeks almost. Monday, March 17th. So St. Patrick's Day, 7 p.m. New York plays LA, fourth seed versus the first seed. And then Tuesday, March 18th, Atlanta, the third seed plays the Bay, the second seed, and then they just play a regular bracket from there. So it'll be the two winners and the two losers. Wait, winner one. Oh, it's a best of three series. Cool. So it's the two winners, and then it's a best of three series for the championship. That's actually pretty sick. So it's Monday, March 24th, and then Tuesday, March 25th. No shit. So they do. Yeah, check this out. So they do Monday, March 17th. St. Patrick's Day is the first round, semifinal. It's Tuesday, March 18th, second round. Monday, March 24th, so the following week, they do championship game 1. And then on Tuesday, they do championship game 2 at 7 p.m. And then if game 3 is necessary, it's at 9 p.m. So they just do it all on the same day, which is kind of crazy. Like you'd think they want to split it up for like additional views and money and all that stuff. But they said, nah, fuck it. We already got everybody flown out here and stuff. Like, let's just wrap it up and be done the same night. So yeah, they'd play for like an hour and a half, get like a half-hour break, and then play another game. And so, yeah, that momentum could be really crazy. If a team wins the first game on Monday night, but then the other team wins Tuesday night game 1, now it's tied. You get to play another game right away, and you get the momentum heading into there. So, yeah, TGL, I'm super excited for it. Yeah, it's been fun to watch so far. So, yeah, I'm pumped for some playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not finding it, unfortunately. But yeah, that is exciting.
Happens.
Definitely here for it. Love me some TGL now that I kind of understand what's going on. And
Facts. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like
there,
locked in now. It's yeah. Like
yeah,
for next season, like I even they were interviewing one of the women's golfers the other day too, and she was like, "Yeah, I've been having conversations with whoever about adding in women next year." And I feel like I don't want to see a women's league. Like just add women to the team. Like just
yeah,
have like one woman or just have it co-ed unlimited or whatever. Like just play normally. Like
yeah,
don't have a women's because then I just won't watch. Or it'll just be like less women. It'll be one or two women on a team instead of four or five. Like there's just the numbers are just never there. So like
yeah,
it just I would rather them just like incorporate it together, and it just could be fun as fuck seeing like a blended league.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
definitely agree with that.
blended pro league would be sweet. So
Luca going nuts,
Luca, yeah, on his fucking tiptoes as usual.
killing it. Yeah. Anything else for us?
I don't believe so. Only other thing I had, I checked in on the Hershey Bears. They're third in the league. Firebirds earlier in the year, the team that we played back to back in the Calder Cup Finals, were like low in the standings. Then now they're like right behind us. So I think they're fourth, we're third, or they're fifth, or something like that. So
Gotcha.
chances of meeting up for a three-peat are pretty likely, but there's still some time left. I think there's still 10 or 12 games, I think, and then playoffs start next month, like late April. So but yeah, other than that, I don't have anything else local or anything. NBA and NFL are pretty much the bulk, and I am super pumped for that UFC fight Saturday night. So
Perfect. All right, your fun fact of the day:
hit me.
Rosa Parks' husband had a car.
Dude, first time I heard this, I was like, what the fuck? If you want to go through a fun Twitter thread, type in Rosa Parks' husband had a car on Twitter and read some of those replies. I was like belly laughing reading some of those that day. Yeah, that is a wild set because it's just one of those ones in history where like when you're told the story, you assume nobody had a car for some
Right.
reason. Like it just was like everyone was bus. Like only rich people had cars, and it's like, oh, her husband had a car. Like, why the fuck did he just take her to work? Like, what the hell? But like, yeah, still, it's like like things were different, and people rode buses much more like cars weren't as efficient and cheap or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a crazy thing to all that could have been avoided. I think there was even like a few when that came out. There was even like a few stand-up routines, like Andrew Schultz type comedians that had made some jokes about
okay.
it. Like as soon as it had come out, I'm almost positive there was a handful of routines that had come out about it. But
that would check out.
yeah, 100%, yeah. Taking advantage of those kind of jokes that checks out 100%. So, all right, good
That
sir.
wraps us up with Cup of Sports podcast. We'll
GG's.
catch you Sunday evening. Enjoy the
Like and
weekend.
subscribe.
Watch some UFC. Watch some
I'm so
men's
excited.
basketball. NBA,
NBA,
NASCAR. Yeah,
Things are
I think
pumping
NASCAR's
out.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this year. Because it'll be trucks Friday, right?
All right, listen. It's my first year, so I'm cup only at this point. Cup is Sunday though.
Yes, Cup is definitely
March
Sunday in
2nd.
Phoenix.
Yes, March 9th, 3:30 p.m. Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'll get around to the other ones.
Let's see. Yeah, Friday is the truck race. Saturday night is the Xfinity race, and Sunday night or Sunday afternoon.
What's Xfinity? Just slower cars, smaller cars.
I would argue they're not smaller or slower. They're just a different car. And it's like it's like the minor league of. It's like
right,
the
right. That's what I was
AHL of
assuming.
NHL.
It just was like a little bit slower or something.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's
They're
like a
just
different
slightly
build.
different and just not as big.
Okay.
Not as big of a series. The cars themselves are pretty much the same.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
lots of stuff going
GG's,
on this
good sir.
weekend. Good sports weekend, and I hope you all enjoy.
Max. GG's.